It's Tuesday, the 9th of August 2022. Welcome to the Fast 5 by Fear and Greed, where we give you the top 5 business stories you need to know in just 5 minutes. I'm Adam Lang, and good morning, Sean Aylmer.
Good morning, Adam.
Story number 1, Sean, the big Australian, BHP, has made an $8.3 billion offer for Oz Minerals, but the board of the South Australian copper miner said the bid undervalued the group.
That's right. BHP lobbed the bid on Friday night in a deal which would consolidate its copper assets in South Australia. The offer price of $25 a share resulted in Oz Minerals' share price soaring 35% yesterday to finish above that offer price at $25.59. Now, several market analysts said the deal made sense, but BHP will have to offer more, particularly given Oz Minerals' share price earlier in the year was $29. The board of Oz described the approach as unsolicited, conditional, non-binding and indicative, adding that the group's share price had traded above the offer price 5 of the last 12 months. More recently, it has tumbled, though, as prices of copper, nickel and aluminium have fallen. BHP boss Mike Henry hit back, saying it was disappointing that Oz isn't willing to allow a due diligence process. It kind of makes sense. BHP's Mr. Henry has made it clear he wants copper assets to take advantage of the renewable transition. Also, Oz Minerals mines are right next to BHP's giant Olympic Dam, so there'd be plenty of synergies there. It would help that whole precinct. Will it work? Well, it will come down to price. We'll hear plenty more about it. Oz Minerals certainly has been doing it tough recently. It's got big plans, but it's also churning through cash. For now, Oz's board has said no, but we're going to hear plenty more about it.
That's a massive story number 1. And another big story number 2, Foreign Affairs Minister Penny Wong says it's critical that the temperature is lowered and calm restored in the Taiwan Strait.
The comments came at what was supposed to be the end of Chinese military exercises in the region. Senator Wong said there was a need for restraint and not an overreaction. Of course, Beijing is upset that US House Speaker Nancy Pelosi visited Taiwan last week. China considers Taiwan part of its territory and in response to the visit spent 4 days undertaking live military drills around the island nation. Yesterday, China's military announced yet another exercise near Taiwan. This is an ongoing story.
Sean, story number 3, I think this one's about career development. There were reports yesterday that senior Qantas executives will move from the boardroom to the tarmac to help shift luggage.
Career development, I like that. I think this is a cracking idea. In fact, I do remember the boss of Woolies, one of the former bosses of Woolies, used to like to get all his staff members to do the checkout so they would actually understand what it was like on the checkout line. Sensible idea. In this case, the airline wants at least 100 volunteers to carry out shift work at Sydney and Melbourne airports over the next 3 months. So rather than sitting at a desk, you'd be loading and unloading luggage and driving vehicles that shifts bags between terminals and aircraft. Of course, Qantas is struggling with luggage issues, on-time flights and huge queues. In June, it cancelled more than 8% of flights. Mostly this is due to staff issues, and it's desperately trying to find people to help out.
Sean, story number 4, TikTok Australia has reported a 220% jump in revenue to nearly 72 million and is seemingly unfazed by the tough times for digital advertising.
Are you a TikTok user, Adam?
A little, Sean.
My kids are. They're big users, and I've got to say, it can be quite compelling. Sometimes I get dragged into it. The group has had a local arm since late 2019, and the revenue figure of $72 million is for 2021, according to the Financial Review. Globally, TikTok is expected to make about $12 billion in revenue. It's 3 times last year, which is incredible in itself. But it's also more than Twitter and Snapchat combined. Amazing growth, this company. It's got nearly 1 billion monthly active users across the world, and about 7 million of those are in Australia.
The scale of TikTok is staggering. So before we get dragged into the TikTok vortex, let's go to story number 5. Petrol prices are down almost 20% from their peak in July, with prices falling most in the bigger cities.
And the good news, Adam, is that they should keep falling as the price of Brent crude continues to drop.
Oh, yes, please.
The national average pump price fell 8.1 cents last week to $1.73 a litre. At its peak in early July, it was $2.12 a litre. In cities, the average price is now $1.69 a litre, and in Sydney specifically, prices have fallen for 49 straight days. According to CommSec, a typical family is now paying about $243 a month to fill up their cars. Much better than what it was, but still about 20% higher than a few months back.
That's it. The top 5 business stories in 5 minutes. Thank you, Sean.
Thank you, Adam.
It's Tuesday, the 9th of August, 2022. Remember to hit follow on the podcast. And if 5 minutes isn't enough, then find our longer podcast called Fear and Greed on your favourite podcast platform. I'm Adam Lang, and that was the Fast 5 by Fear and Greed. Have a great day.